Hi, good morning, everyone. Yeah, good morning, Pradeep. Fine. So we can start with the day 2 agenda. So today we'll see that fusion security concept, and how to create the user in the fusion application. So this is what we can discuss. Coming to the fusion security, it's a completely different what we have in the EBS security. The previous version, what we have the security, and the present what we have in fusion is a completely different. So try to understand. I'll give the comparison with EBS. So in fusion itself, you need to be understand the two securities. It's nothing but that up to the present version, we have the different security. The older versions, we have the different security. So nothing but that yesterday we talked about that we have the different versions in the fusion. Up to R11 version, up to R11, we have the one type of security. After R11, nothing but that what we have the latest versions, nothing but R12 in R13. So these two versions is completely different with the previous versions. Okay, so I'll try to give that comparison with EBS, and I'll try to give the comparison with in Fusion itself, older version what we have the security, in the present version what we have the security. Okay, so in EBS we call as sysadmin. So in EBS, all system related activities we are done by the sysadmin. Nothing but if you want to create the user, we need to go for the sysadmin. We can able to create the user. If you want to give the access, nothing but that I'm creating the user. I want to give the some access to the user. So based on the responsibility base, we are giving the all access to the user. So you want to give the profile options. If you want to create the responsibilities, all things we are done by the sysadmin. But coming to the Fusion application, there is no sysadmin. So without sysadmin, how we can create the users, how we can give the access to user, how we can restrict the user means. In Fusion, up to R11 version, we have the concept we call as a OAM concept, Oracle Identity Manager. So OAM is one of the middleware tool. So Fusion, Oracle Fusion using this middleware tool to the security purpose. So in Fusion, if you want to create the user, we need to log in with OAM, Oracle Identity Manager, and you can able to create the user up to R11. Coming to the R12, in Fusion itself, coming to the R12, if you want to create the user, we need to go for the security console. So you can go for the security console, you can able to create the users. Before R12, we have the OAM concept, Oracle Identity Manager concept. Go to the OAM and you can able to create the user. Okay. So we'll more talk about the present version. So in R12, we have the security console. So if you want to create the user, you can log into the security console. If you want to assign the role in EBS, if you want to give the access to the user, we need to create the responsibility. Based on the responsibility base, we are giving the all access to the user. But coming to the Fusion application, there is no responsibility concept. There is no sysadmin concept. There is no responsibility concept. The sysadmin is replaced by the security console. Your responsibility concept is replaced by the job role. The role concept is replaced by the your responsibility concept. Based on the responsibility, we are given the access in the previous versions in EBS. Here, based on the role base, we are giving the access to the user. If you want to create the user, you can log in with security console. And if you want to be assign the roles to the user, you can go to the security console. If you want to reset the passport, if you want to change the password, you want to reset the password for the user, you can go to the security console. You want to delete the role, you want to revoke the role, you can go to the security console. And if you want to create any custom role in EBS, how we can create custom menus and custom kind of thing. In the Fusion also, we can able to create the custom role. If you want to create the custom role, while creation of the custom role, if you want to copy the seeded role and you can modify the something and you want to create the custom role, so everything we are going to be handled by the security console. Simply you can understand In EBS, we have the sysadmin. The sysadmin is replaced with a security console in Fusion up to R12 onwards, up to R12 version onwards. In EBS, just now we talked about. In EBS, we have the responsibility. Based on the responsibility, we are giving the access. In Fusion, we have the role concept. That is, we call as a RBAC, role-based access control. Based on the role base, we are giving the all access to the your user. So what are the roles available in the Fusion application? So in EBS, while creation of the responsibility, you can see that. So if you want to create the responsibility, so what we have that, so we have the different options are available. So while creation of the responsibility, you can able to see the menu, you can able to see that, and you can able to see that data group, and you can able to see that request group, and you have the profile options. Like these are ways we are giving the access. Menu nothing but that which screens you want to give the access to the user, and data group which data you want to give the access to the user, request group which contra programs you want to give the access to the user. Apart from that, if you want to restrict, we have the menu exclusions, we have the profile options. Like these are the basic logic we are using the previous version. But coming to the Fusion, there is no responsibility concept. So without responsibility, how we are giving the access to the user? Here we have the RBAC, role-based access control. Through the role-based access control concept, we are giving the all access to the user. So in the same way, how we have the menu, data group, request group, profile options, we have the different way we are giving the access and restrict the user. In the same way, in roles also we have the different roles. And coming to the roles also, the present version. So we have the different roles. What are the roles we have that? We have the job role, we have the duty role, we have the data role, we have the abstract role. So we have the 4 types of roles are available: job, duty, data role, and abstract role. Apart from that, if you want to go for the custom role. 5th one is that if you are not satisfied what Oracle is giving the seeded thing, you want to go for the custom, the 5th one is going to be custom role. In EBS, how we can go for the custom menus. In the same way, here also we can able to create our custom job roles. So these are the roles available in the Fusion application. We will discuss in detail what is the meaning of the job role, how it is going to be useful. So what is the duty role, what is the data role, what is the abstract role, we'll discuss. So coming to the job role, we have the different seeded job roles are available. For suppose here you can see that account payable manager, account payable supervisor. Just I want to correct it. It's the AP role, account payable. Yeah. Account payable manager, account payable specialist, account payable supervisor. In EBS, how we have the seeded menu. While creation of the responsibility, you can able to see the seeded menu. So the menu base, which menu we are assigning that, the menu base, the user can able to see that, screens and all you can able to see that. In Fusion also same thing. Which job role we are assigning that. If I assign the account payable manager, the manager kind of screens, the user can able to see that. The account payable specialist, the specialist kind of screens, the user can able to see that. Based on the job role, he can able to see that. The screen access, he can able to see that. Account payable supervisor in AR, account receivable case, we have the 2 seeded roles. One is the account receivable manager, account receivable specialist, and general ledger case, we have the general accountant, chief financial officer, financial analyst, general accounting manager, financial application administrator. Like this is a way each module case we have the seeded job roles is available. AP case we have the 3 seeded job roles. Account receivable case we have the 2 seeded job roles. In GL case we have the 5 seeded job roles. In the same way fixed asset, in the same way you go for the cash management, if same way you can go for the taxation. Each module we have the seeded job roles. In EBS, each module we have the seeded menus are available. Here seeded job roles are available. So once you are assigning the job role to the user, based on the role base, he can able to get the access. He can able to understand job means he can able to, once I assign the job role, the user can able to perform the collection of the duties. Account payable manager, the manager can able to perform the collection of the duties he can able to perform. So that's what we call as a job role. So under job role, what we have that? We have the duty role is available. Under job role, we have the duty role is available. So one job role having the many duties. The manager can able to account payable manager. We can take the example. The manager can able to create the invoice. The manager can able to make the payment. Nothing more. They can able to perform the collection of the duties. That means if you assign the job role, the user can able to perform the collection of the duties. He can able to perform. So the top level is the job role. Under job role, we have the duty. Nothing but the collection of the duties. So once we are assigning that job role, the user can able to perform the collection of the duties. He can able to perform. Under collection of the duties, each duty having the privileges. Each duty having the again privileges having. So each privilege you can able to see in EBS. If you want to compare with this particular hierarchy, you want to compare with job role, you can compare with menu. Job role you can compare with menu. The duty role you can compare with the submenu. And privileges you can compare with function. Yeah, just I'll walk through that. We have the slide. You want to compare with an EBS, job role you can compare with in menu, and duty role you can compare with in submenu, and function you can compare with in privileges. This is what we have the comparison with an EBS. I'll walk through that. So we have that. If you want to study this type of security, we have the seeded thing. We have that. You can go for the repository site. The Oracle Enterprise repository site. You can go for the repository site. Here you can able to see that regarding the Oracle Fusion documents you can able to find out. This is a seeded one. Everyone can able to get access from that. Just you can go for the financials and which release you require that. So here you can able to see that different releases you can able to find out that. So I'll click on the release 12. Release 13 documents not yet updated completely. Just I'll walk through the release 12. And security reference for Oracle Financial Cloud. Security reference for Oracle Financial Cloud. You can go for that. So then it will open from the entire security for the Financial Cloud. Okay, Financial Cloud security reference. That release 12 document. The document by the release 12, not 13. So here you can able to see the different job roles. You can able to see that. So account payable manager is one of the job role. Account payable specialist, account payable supervisor. Here you can able to find out what are the job roles available from the financial cloud. The financial side, what are the job roles is available. You can able to find out the all job roles. You can able to find out this particular document. Account payable supervisor, account receivable manager, account receivable specialist. This is a job role. Under job, we have the collection of the duties will come. I'll show that. Each job having the collection of the duties will come. Here you can see that the job role called as the account payable manager. The manager having the collection of duties assigned directly and indirectly to the job role for the account payable manager. So here you can able to see that if you assign the account payable manager job role to the user can able to get this all duties. So account payable managerial analysis and business intelligence application analysis, and you can able to see the customer account inquiry, and like what duties will come by the based on the job role. So all duties you can able to find out that, and each duty what you can see the customer account inquiry, view customer account details. If you have the account payable manager, you can able to view the customer account details. There's a meaning of that. So functional setups. If you have the account payable manager, uses the functional user overview and assignment task and task list. So if you have the account payable manager, you can able to see the functional user overview. You can able to see that, and assign task. What are the task is assigned, and a task list. What are the task list is assigned to that. You can able to view that. Nothing but that each job role having the collection of the duties. Each duty having the privileges again. Each duty having the privileges. So account payable manager assign, we have the collection of the duties. These all duties will come, and you can able to see that after that privileges, aggregate privileges, each duty having the privileges. So account payable manager having the privileges. What are the privileges? You can see that. So access the supplier work area overview and assign the business unit business function, common access apps status provider servicer, maintain the reports and analytics region. Like you can able to see the lot of privileges you can able to see that. So here if you understand that, we have the job role. Under job, we have the, once you assign that one job, we have the collection of duties will come. Collection of duties will come. Under collection of the duties, each duty having separate privileges. Each duty having, again, privileges. That's what we call as the aggregate privileges. Okay, so this is the hierarchy. We have that job role. Under job we have the duty, each duty having the aggregate privileges. So each privilege is required data access. Each privilege is required data access or data security is required. This is the hierarchy. So top level is the job role. Based on the job role, you have the collection of duties, each duty having the privilege. If you want to provide the, if you want to perform the privilege, we require the data access. If you want to perform the privilege, you require the data access. What's the meaning of the data access? So if you compare with an EBS, for suppose I'm in the PO screen, purchase order. I want to create my purchase order. What we require that when you're going to be purchase order screen, first system is asking that you're operating it. Without operating it access, you cannot able to create the purchase order. For suppose you want to create the AP, you want to create the invoice. So when you want to create the invoice, first system will ask the operating unit. So once you are providing the operating unit, if you have the operating unit access, then only you can able to create the invoice. If you want to make the payment, first system will ask the operating unit. So nothing but that. If you want to perform the something, you require the access is required. Operating unit access. For suppose I want to create the journal. So when you are going to be journal screen, first system will asking the ledger name. Without ledger access, you cannot able to create the journal. Without operating unit access, you cannot able to create the invoice. Without operating unit access, you cannot able to purchase that. Nothing but that. If you want to do the transaction, we require the data access. Without data access means operating unit data access, ledger data access, inventory of data access, or anything. So without, if you want to do the transaction, we require the particular data access. Without data access, you cannot able to perform the any transaction in EBS. In the same way like in Fusion also. If you want to do the transaction, if I want to create the journal, I require the ledger data access. If I want to create the purchase order, I require the business unit data access. If I want to do the miscellaneous transaction, I require the inventory of data access. So nothing but that. If I want to create, some asset in FSI, so I require the asset book data access. Nothing but that. If you want to perform some transaction, we require the data access. Without data access, you cannot able to perform any transaction. Okay, so this is what we have the data access. This is the hierarchy we have in the Fusion application. Job role. Under job, we have the collection of the duties, each duty having the aggregate privilege. So each aggregate privilege, you want to perform the transaction, again we require the data access is required that. Okay, so this is what we call as people are understand what is the meaning of the job role, what is the meaning of the duty, what is the meaning of data access. We'll go on more talk about the data access. Okay, so this is a area you can able to go and you can able to study that slowly one by one, what the job roles we have, that each job what we have the duties, each duty what privileges will come within the application. Also you can able to see that, no need to come the document, but if you want to see the one document from the all financial security, you can use the you can come to the repository site, you can able to see this particular document. So I'll show that in application itself where we can able to see this all those things. So here you can able to see that all those things, entire the financial security, each and every role you can able to find out this document. Okay. Going back to the PPT. And you understand EBS we call as a menu. Here we call as a job role. Based on the job in EBS, based on the menu, you can able to see the screen. Here, based on the job role, you can able to see the screen. Sub menu. So under menu, we have the many sub menus you can able to see in EBS. Under job role, you can able to see the many duties you can able to see that. So each sub menu we have the functions are available in EBS. Same way here, each duty you have the privileges you have that. So we are going to be understand that how data role it will come. So we talk about that without data role. So if you have the assign the job role, I have the one user. I'm assigning the job role. Based on the job role, the user can able to go to the screen. For suppose account payable manager, the manager can able to go to the invoice screen. The manager can able to go to the invoice screen. The manager can able to go to the payment screen. So if you want to create the invoice, what he required the BU access in EBS operating unit in Fusion, that is we call as the BU. If you want to make the payment, again we require the business unit access. Without business unit access, the user cannot able to make the payment, even if you have the job role also. So how we can give the data access in the Fusion? How this particular business unit data access in the Fusion? So the data access will come by the data role. The data access will come by the data role. When you are assigning the data role to the user, then only the user can able to create the transaction. So the data role, how system will be generate the data role? In EBS, manually we are giving the access to the user. So you can create the responsibility. The responsibility you can able to assign to the user through the profile option. Manually we are giving the access to the user, responsibility, profile option, user. Based on the responsibility, the user can able to get the access on the, based on the access, the user can able to perform the transaction. That is the EBS concept. But coming to the Fusion application, the data access will come by the data role base. So how data role is generated in the Fusion? In EBS we done with the manually, but coming to the Fusion, the data role is generated by the automatically. Coming to the Fusion, the data role is generated by the automatically. So when we are doing the configuration, the application, when I'm doing the configuration, the application, when I'm creating the ledger in application, when I'm creating the ledger in application, when I'm creating the ledger, when I'm creating the business unit, when I'm creating the inventory, or when I'm creating the asset book. So when you create this configuration, the application, automatically system will be generating the data role. Automatically system will be generated. We don't need to do anything, just you need to do the configuration. So you can take the example. So in my application, based on my client requirement, I'm creating the two ledgers. So I'm creating the US primary ledger. Yes, primary ledger, as well as I'm creating the one more ledger, that is we call as a UK primary ledger. So based on my client requirement, I'm creating the two ledgers in my application. Once I create the two ledgers in my application, automatically this information will go to the APM. APM stand for Authorization Policy Manager. APM stand for Authorization Policy Manager. Once we created, automatically it will go to the APM, Authorization Policy Manager. APM will maintain the role templates. Once we create these ledgers in the application, automatically it will go to the APM. APM stand for Authorization Policy Manager. What APM will do that? APM also one of the middleware. APM also one of the middleware tool. So in we have the OAM is one of the middleware tool, and APM is one of the middleware tool. OAM stand for Oracle Identity Manager. APM stand for Oracle Authorization Policy Manager. Okay, these two middleware tools we are using from the security purpose up to R11. Okay, so the APM, what APM will do? APM having the role templates. APM having the role templates. APM having. So what is the meaning of the role template? APM having the role templates. Role templates APM having. So what is the role template? Ledger case, ledger role templates. Ledger case, ledger role templates, and business unit case. Each business function case, we have the role template. So in the sense, like in the business unit, payable case, payable role template, receivable case, receivable role template, and fixed asset case, fixed asset role template, inventory case, inventory role template. These are the seeded role template. Just now we have discussed that the previous screen. So nothing but that AP case, we have the seeded, 3 seeded rows. This is what we call as a template, AP account payable template. Under accounting payable template, we have the 3 rows: account payable manager, account payable specialist, account payable supervisor. AR role template. Under AR role template, we have the account receivable manager, account receivable specialist. GL role template, general ledger role template. Under GL role template, we have general accountant, financial officer, financial analyst. These are the role templates. The each module, you can say, assume like each module we have a separate role template. So the role template, it will maintain by the APM, authorization policy manager. So the same way we have the ledger case, ledger role template. So when I'm creating the ledger in the application, automatically this information will go to the APM, authorization policy manager. APM having the role template. So when you create the ledger, automatically what happened? The role template is having the APM, the role template suffix with your ledger name. So you can see that here we have the 4 rows for the GL case. 4 rows for the your GL case, you have the 4 rows. So this particular 4 rows suffix with your ledger name. General accountant suffix with your ledger name. What is your ledger name? So we create the US primary ledger. We create the US primary ledger. So nothing but the job role suffix with your ledger name. System will be generated here US primary ledger. US primary ledger. And as well as chief financial officer plus suffix with US primary ledger. And financial analyst suffix with US primary ledger. So nothing but that each job role suffix with your ledger name. Each job role suffix with your ledger name. That's what we call as a data role. Data role is a simple. The meaning of the data role: job role suffix with your ledger name. Those things we call as a data role. Here we create the 2 ledgers. System will be generated separately for the US primary ledger for the data role, as well as UK primary ledger data role is separate. So general accountant suffix with UK primary ledger. General account chief financial officer for UK primary ledger. Financial analyst for UK primary ledger. So this is a way system will be generate separate data role. Each ledger case. So I'm taking the example as a ledger. If you go for the business unit, same thing. When you create the business unit in the application, so what are the business functions you are enabled? So for suppose while creation of the business unit, if I enable, I require the AP functionality for that, this particular BU. Automatically what happened? AP template, we have that business unit suffix with your job role suffix with your BU. And if you enable the AR, so we have the 2 rows: account receivable manager, account receivable specialist. Account receivable manager suffix with your BU, account receivable specialist suffix with your BU. So if you go for the inventory org, same thing. So when you create the inventory org in application, automatically this information will go to the APM. APM having the role template from the your inventory org. Warehouse manager suffix with your inventory org name. Warehouse operator suffix with your inventory org name. This is a way system will be generate a data role in APM, authorization policy manager. It will generate the data role. Once it's generating the data role, this information again it will synchronize to the your OAM, Oracle Identity Manager. It will be synchronized. So that is we call as a OAM, Oracle Identity Manager. You can log into the OAM. You can log into the OAM Oracle Identity Manager. Here you can able to find out the your data roles like the general accountant. This particular data roles you can able to see that here in OAM automatically synchronized. In OAM we can able to get the access to the user. Already we discussed and up to before R12 we have everything in the OAM Oracle Identity Manager. Right now we have the security console. Previously we have the OAM. Previously we have the OAM. If you want to create the user before R12, what we need to go for the OAM Oracle Identity. If you want to create the user, if you want to assign the access, if you want to do anything, we need to log in with the OAM and we need to do that. But at present there is no OAM. We have the security console concept is there. Okay, previously we have the OAM concept. So here once you log into that, once you system will be generating the data role, automatically it will synchronize to the OAM Oracle Identity Manager. It will synchronize. So here you can able to see the all users. Here you can able to see the all transaction users. We have that. But suppose we have the user 1 and user 2. User 1 and user 2 you have. So user 1 is required US primary ledger access. Then you can assign this particular data role to your user 1. That means when the user 1 is login, he can able to create the journal only US primary ledger. He cannot able to create the journal in UK primary ledger. He can able to get access from the only US primary ledger. So in user 2 is that he required the US primary ledger and as well as UK primary ledger. Then you can assign this data role to the user 2. Then the user 2 login, he can able to create the journal as well as US primary ledger as well as UK primary ledger. Nothing but that based on the data role base, he can able to do the transaction. Here, once I'm assigning the US primary ledger data roles, UK primary ledger data roles, then the user can able to get access from the two ledger access. He can able to perform general accountant from the US primary ledger. He can able to do the all activities regarding the chief financial officer from the US primary ledger. He can able to perform the transaction as well as general accountant from the UK primary ledger. He can able to perform the transaction chief financial officer for the UK primary ledger. So this is a way we are giving that data access to the user in the Fusion application. Any questions anyone having? In online people, any questions? Any questions? Okay, so this is a way we can give the data access to your user based on the data role based data access. How data will be synchronized? I can say that we are creating the users in the application, and here how data will be synchronized. So I can say that using of the OAM, we create the user. Oracle Identity Manager, we create the user. Once we create the user, automatically where we log in with application. So in application, I'm doing some configurations. Once I'm creating the configuration in application, automatically system will be creating the data roles in the APM. Once APM is generating the data role, automatically it will be synchronized to the OAM. Again in OAM, I'm assigning the data role to the user. Based on the data role, the user can able to get access to the application. This is like you can able to see that this is look like in the cycle. So I'm creating the user in the OAM. It will synchronize to the application. I'm done the configuration of the application. Data role is generated in the APM. Once generating the data role, again it will hit the OAM. Again I'm assigned to the user based on the which data role we are assigned that. Based on the data role base, you can able to do the transaction the application. So how data will be synchronized to the OAM to application, application to APM, APM to OAM is here we have the seeded jobs are available. The job we call as a LDAP, lightweight directory access protocol jobs. Based on these jobs, automatically data will be synchronized. When we are doing the fresh implementation project, so we should be enable these jobs. So once you are enable these jobs, automatically data will be synchronized in the backend. In the front end also we can able to run the LDAP jobs manually, but basically it will be synchronized automatically in the backend. So if you tell that every 2 minutes the job should be run, every 1 minute this job should be run. So when you are giving the schedule it, so automatically what are the users you create in the OAM, it will be pulled into the application. Nothing but you can able to get the, if the data is not synchronized, I'm creating the user in the OAM. If data is not synchronized, I cannot able to log in the application. If data is not synchronized to the application to APM, I can able to do the configuration, but I cannot able to see the data roles in the OAM. So data should be synchronized, then only you can able to see the data in your front end. Okay, so this is what we have. The concept is available up to R11. Up to R11. So what we are explaining that in Excel sheet, same thing you can able to see in the slide. So I'm doing the configuration, the application, it will be synchronized to the APM. APM having the role template, ledger case, ledger template, BU case, BU template, inventory case, inventory template, asset book case, asset book template, and automatically system will be generating the data rows. Data role is nothing but the ledger name suffix with your job role, BU name suffix with your job role, inventory org suffix with your job role, asset book suffix with your job role. Once it's generating the data role, automatically synchronize to the OAM. Again in OAM you can able to find out the user, you can assign that. Okay, this is a flow. It will come application, APM, OAM to user. So once you are assigning the data role to the user, then based on the data role the user can able to do the transaction. Okay, so this is what we have the concept in the up to R11 concept. What we are discussing, this whole concept we call as a R11. So up to R12 onwards, up to R12 onwards, so the little bit the concept is a change. In coming to the R12, in R13, the latest release of R13. What are the job roles we have that? We have the job roles, and we have the duty roles, and we have the abstract roles. There is no data role concept. There is no data role concept. They're removing this concept in the latest versions. In previously, when we are doing the configuration, the application, automatically system will be generating the data role. This is a concept we have in the previous version. But coming to the Fusion, the latest versions, what we have in R12, in R13, they're removing that, the automatic generation. So we have a lot of problems for the automatic generation for the data roles in the previous versions. So that's the reason they remove the whole concept of data role concept. They're giving the R12 onwards. Manually, we need to be assigned to our business unit access. Manually, we are doing. In previously, what happened? Based on the role template based system will be generating that. Based on the role template based system will be generating your particular data role. So the generation of the data role, we have the issue. There's a reason they're removing the whole thing. They're giving the same concept, but we are doing with manually process, not automatic process. Okay, so no data role automatic generation release 12 onwards. The release 12 onwards, there is no automatic role generation. So what we have that in the release 12 onwards, we have the manually we are giving the data access to the user. It's a manual process, not automatically, first of all. So I can give the clear explanation. And just for the understanding purpose, what we have the previous version, I'm explaining that. So in up to R12 onwards, we have the user simple. Based on the user, for suppose this user account payable manager for some business unit, assume like. So this user, what role you want to be assigned, you can assign. So I'm assigning the role. Suppose account payable manager, I'm assigning the role from this particular user. So once I'm assigning the role from this user want to do the transaction. If you want to do the transaction, what we require? He required the data access. Which data access is required? Some business unit. So we have the task called as a data access for the business unit. So you can go for the scheme and which role you can select the role and you can assign to the BU. Which BU access you want to do that directly. What are the business unit you create? You can able to find out all things here. Manually, we are giving the link up to the role to business unit. That's it. In previously, what happened? System will be generating automatically, but here system will not generating. It's look like in the similar like of EBS concept. In EBS, what happened? So we are giving the user, we are giving the responsibility. Based on the responsible and user, we tie up with the profile option. Based on the profile option base, we are giving the tie up with the user to responsible. But here the concept will come by that. Manually, we are doing the same similar like here user, job role, user to job role, how we can give the tab business unit. Manually you need to go for the data access page. Manually we are assigning which BU access you want to go to the user. That's it. So manually you can able to give the access. The simple. So account payable manager for particular BU, account payable specialist for particular BU, account receivable manager for particular BU, general accountant for particular ledger. So you know that which ledger access you want to give it. Just you can go and select the general accountant and you can give the access to the user. That's it. That means the user can able to perform general accountant for that particular primary ledger. That's it. So this is what we have. The manual attachment, manual assignment concept is available. The latest version is much simpler compared with previous versions. In previous versions, we have a lot of issues in the data role generation and the data synchronization problems. We have that. That's the reason Oracle is removing this whole concept generation of data role automatically. They're giving the simple concept, what the job role and what's the access you want to give it. Just manually need to type. That's it. Once you are assigning that, you can able to get the access of that. And we have the practical problems also is available in the data role. Just I'll highlight why they're removing the data role concept, what we are facing that in the previous project. Assume like understanding that here what happened in the previously data role, we have the role template is there. We have the role template is there. The role template for suppose assume like AP role template, account table role template. So in AP role template, what we have the roles? We have some roles called as a account payable manager, account payable specialist, account payable supervisor. Assume like we have the 3 roles for our account payable case: account payable manager, account payable specialist, and account payable supervisor. These are 3 roles we have from our role template. So these 3 roles we have in the role template, AP role template. So when I'm creating the business unit, when I'm create the BU, what happened? So I'm creating with ism like RTA BU. I'm creating the business unit in the application. Once creating the business unit in the application, what happened? Automatically it will go to the APM. APM it will generating the data. One business unit is fine. One business unit, I'm creating the one business unit. System will be generating the 3 data roles: account payable manager, account payable specialist, account payable supervisor. So I have the user. The user is required from the assign only account payable manager access. The user can able to perform only as a manager from this particular BU. Even the remaining 2 you don't require, the specialist and supervisor you don't require, but still system will be generating those 2 roles also. So you required, you have the RTA BU, you have the one user. The user should be performed by as a account payable manager for this particular BU. You don't require the account payable specialist, account payable supervisor, but still system will be generating the 3 data roles. It will generate even though you don't require. So if you have the 1 BU is fine. If you create the 100 BUs, if you create the 100 BUs, you create that. So 100 BUs data role system will be generating even though you don't require. Even though you don't require, system will be generated. Once you create it, system will be generating the data role. Isn't like so? One more problem I can explain, give the example for that. We can able to create the custom role. Most of the projects we are not satisfied with what they've seeded. We need to create our custom roles. So if I want to create the custom role, there's a procedure is there. Once you create the custom role, finally the custom role also I need to be assigned to this role template only. So we have the procedure, long procedure to create the custom role. All steps is completed. Finally, what you create the custom role, the custom role also you need to be assigned to this particular role template. Okay. So once I'm assigning the custom role to the role template, what happened? So we need to be we need to run some process. So once I run the process, what happened? So I required this custom role for this particular RTA BU only. I don't require from the all BUs. I have the requirement from the RTA BU. So I'm taking the requirement. Based on this requirement, I'm creating the one custom role. That custom role I'm assigning to my particular my assume is that I want to create the custom role from the RTA BU only. I don't want to generate from all BUs. So this custom role, when I'm assigning the template, so we need to be run the process. Once run the process, if you have the 100 BUs, your system 100 BUs also system will be generating the data role. RTA BU suffix with custom role, RTA BU2 suffix with custom role. Nothing but system will be generating. Each and every BU system will be generating the custom role. I don't require the all BUs. I require from the only single BU. We don't have that option. Once we are assigning some custom role in the role template, once you synchronize what are the business units available in your server, all business unit based system will be generating the custom role. So these are the like practical problems from the automatic generation of the data role from what we have the previous versions. So that's the reason they're removing this whole concept. They're giving the simple concept, the manual process. Just you can select the job role, select user. First you can select the user, what job role you want to assign, you can assign. Then you can go for the job role. You can manually attach to the your BU, manually can attach the ledger. Manually, you know that what you want to be assigned. So based on your requirement, you can assign that. So that is the procedure what we have in the latest version. These are the problems. They remove this concept in the Fusion, in the previous versions. Any questions anyone having? If you have questions, you can go ahead. So I'm ready to give the answers on that.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you mean to say in R13 they have removed the data role concept?
Yes.
Okay, they have removed the data role concept to easy that the users can be assigned immediately to the roles responsibility roles, job roles.
Manually we
Is
are.
it right? Yeah. Hello.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it right actually?
Yes.
What I tried to understood. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I have one more question in my mind actually. So in your previous Excel, you prepared some kind of a primary and secondary, and you have assigned to the user 1 and user 2. So those are the job role templates you have assigned. So I have one question. Whatever the primary ledger of the general ledger, can I assign that general ledger to the user 2? Can he have the access?
Yes, you can do that. You can do that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So it's like a vice versa. Like
yeah, I can
you
understand
can.
your
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Like of any mock concept, MOA.
Yeah. So it's basically like he have an access of US, and he can have the second user 2 can have an access to the US this thing, general ledger, primary ledger.
Yes, in EBS the same thing. One user is required,
Yeah.
ledger access. One user is required.
Yes. Is it the same concept they have applied? Okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah, just give it
Yeah, I
time.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah, in EBS we have the mock is there, so they remove.
Yeah, mock is there. Yeah.
Yeah, here the mock is replaced with that data role.
Data role. Okay, right. Okay.
Here we are assigning the US primary ledger data role and UK primary ledger data role. Then the user can able to get the two ledger access.
Two ledger access. Correct. Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions anyone having? So what we discussed, this is a completely practical only. So maybe in the next class we'll do it practically. It's not a theoretical concept, it's completely practical concept only. So we'll see what we discuss in the Excel sheet in the PPT completely in the practically. Okay. So I'll move to that next slides. Up to now, we understand the what is the job role we are understanding, what is the duty role we are understanding that, and what is the data role. At present, we don't have data role, but we understand the previous concept. What is the data role usage we understand, and we have the one more role that is we call as a abstract role. So coming to the abstract role, it's not a specific. If I talk about the job role, if I talk about the duty role, if I talk about the data role, this is a application based kind of thing. Nothing but that you are going to give the access, you are going to revoke the access application, like the process related of these are all roles. But coming to the abstract role, it's not a process related, it's a generic role, it's a generic access for that. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry. So coming to the abstract role, it's a very generic role. It's not a module based, it's not a application based, it's a generic kind of thing. So generic kind of functions it will come. For suppose I can give the example, if you want to run the schedule process, nothing but that you in EBS we call as if you want to run the report, we require to go for the view request and find we can able to run the report in EBS. In the same way in Fusion, if you want to run the report, we require the employer role. So abstract role is the best example as an employer role. Some of the generic features will come by the based on the abstract code. The generic features is like running up the schedule process, running up the reports, like generic features is required from the each and every application. The financial, the employee is required from the financial side, the employee is required from the SCM, the employee is required from the procurement. So once you assign the employer role, some of the generic features will come. Those are the we call as the abstract role. So the best example from the abstract role is the employee or contingent worker or non-worker. So these are the best example from the abstract role. Simply, it's a generic role. The generic features, the default features will come by the abstract role. That's it. So mainly we have the job role and duty role is a majorly for the process related and module related of kind of thing. Okay. So these are the roles we have, that job role, duty role, and abstract role in Fusion R12 onwards. Okay, and R11 we have the one more role, that is a data role. In R12 onwards we have the 3 roles: job, duty, and abstract role. Okay, so you understand that. So we'll move to that next concept, that is a user concept. This I'm explaining the theoretically. So before talking about the user concept, we'll talk about the basic. So your client is taking the license. Suppose your client decide to go for the Oracle Fusion Financials. So once he is taking the license, once he done the payment, so what Oracle do that? Oracle is sending the welcome mail to the service admin. So it will send the service admin to the welcome mails. Look like that this type of mail will receive to the client. So the service admin, it will receive this particular mail, and it will come with that. So you can see that hello mail, and it will giving the meta link. So Oracle support, you can able to register with Oracle support to that alone itself. If you have the meta link and Oracle support, that's fine. Otherwise you can register yourself from the Oracle support from the meta link. And second thing, it will giving the access details, nothing but that username and temporary password. It will give that, and it will giving the my account administration. So my account administration means administration regarding the notification. So nothing but that who is receiving the notifications, who is the administrator from your organization. Nothing but that I can say that the new release is coming. So it should be, Oracle need to be intimate that new release coming, it's going to be upgrade kind of thing. So which mail ID should be received from those type of notification, the administration regarding the notification. So those things you need to be set up from the my account administration. And it will be giving the service administration, nothing but that it will be giving the URL and identity domain. So it will be giving the which URL should be login and what is the username and password. They're going to provide to you that. And the administrator, it will create the using of those logins. The administrator will go and create, and he'll create the users for you that. Okay, the initial mail look like from that, and the administrator will receive from the URLs and passwords. And once the administrator will log in, and he'll be create with another users. Okay, and it will giving the welcome note. In the welcome note, if when you click on the welcome note, you can give that the all instruction what administration need to do step by step. Nothing when we are doing with the fresh implementation project, what is the first step? Administrator need to do that. What is the second step? Administrator need to do that. And I think by the first step, we have the register with Oracle support for the meta link. What is the next step? They need to do that. Third step, like step by step, we have the almost like 5 to 6 steps are available. This welcome note, it will give the download automatically on PDF file. Using a PDF file, the administration can able to do the all activities. So the administration can decide like whether it's going to be implement our team itself. Nothing but that the company is taking the license. So the implementations happen by the some third party. The implementations happen with the internal team. So who is going to implement this particular project? So if internal team means, so they can give the access to the internal team. Third party teams, they can give the access to the third party teams. Then based on third party tool, third party team who is the administrator, he can able to create some users kind of thing. So once you are creating the, once you are receiving the administration user, the user having that, the user having from the, what are the roles the user having that. So if you receive the administration mail, the administration manager user having from the, this is a no HR records. This particular server, what is the URL you will get that there is no HR records, nothing but there is no employee, there is no transaction user, it's a clean server. So just you will receive from the one consultant user, one is the implement user, you can receive that is the admin user. He can use that. Using of the admin user, he can create who are working in that in this particular project, who is going to work on that. He can generate the user, implement users. He can able to create. So I can able to create the user one, consultant user one, consultant user two. He can able to create the a number of users. He can able to generate that. So what is the roles is required from the each and every user? What is the roles? So the administrator can able to create. For suppose we have the admin user. So the admin user, you can able to create the users from the who are going to work on this particular project. For suppose we have the 4 numbers is there, 2 numbers is there, 1 number is there. So based on that requirement base, he can able to create the one consultant user, and this consultant user can pass to the manager. Okay, so we can able to create the consultant user, or you can say implementation user. Anything is fine. You can able to create the consultant user. So what is the roles is required from the consultant user? Same like in EBS also we have the 2 types of users. One is a consultant user and second one is the transaction user, nothing but the employee. What is the responsibility for the consultant user? So the responsibility of the consultant user, he can able to do all configuration. You need to do all setups. You need to do all configuration. So what is the responsibility for the transaction user? The transaction user responsibility for that doing of the all transactions. Okay, these are the responsibility. But in EBS case, what happened? If you talk about the EBS from the users relation, both of them is same. Like I have the consultant user. Using of this sysadmin, you can able to create your consultant user, and using of the consultant user, you can assign the responsibility and log in with this consultant user. You can develop your multi-org structure. You can create with your multi-organization structure, your enterprise structure you can create. Once you create the multi-org structure, using of this structure, you can hire the employee. Using of this structure, you can hire the employee. Employee is nothing but a transaction user you can create using of this structure. Once you create the consultant user, based on the consultant user, you can create your structure. Once based on the structure, you can create the employee. Once you create the employee, again, this employee we are going to be assigned to the consultant user. In EBS concept. Again, this employee we are going to assign to the consultant user. Once I am assigning the employee to the consultant user, this consultant user login as a treat as the employee login. Once I am assigning the employee to the consultant user, this consultant user login as a system will be treated as a employee login. The before, if you are not assigned the employee to the consultant user, system will not treat as an employee. System will treat as the login treat as a consultant user is a part of. You can able to do all configurations. Once I'm assigning the employee to the consultant user, system will be treat as this is an employee login, not in a consultant user. Nothing but you can able to do the consultant user activities. You can able to do that, and employee activities also you can able to do that. Then system will treat as a employee login from the consultant user login. So little bit like we have the little bit confused is there. What is the login from the consultant user, employee? Little bit confused, but if you understand the concept, that's clear. But coming to the Fusion application, the both of them separate. There is no attachment to the consultant user to the employee. Your consultant user creation is separate, your employee hiring is separate. There is no correlation between the consultant user to the employee. So what is the responsibility for the consultant user in Fusion? So he can able to do the all configurations. That's it. So what is the responsibility for the transaction user? He can able to do all transactions. That's it. There is no interlink between the consultant user to the employee. So if you want to create the consultant user in Fusion application, where we need to go for that? I need to go for the security console. You can go to the security console and you can able to create the user. Okay, and once you create the user, what role we need to be assigned to the consultant user? What are the roles is required from this particular consultant user? He required from the application implementation consultant role, and he required application implementation consultant role. If you have application implementation consultant role, you can able to do the all configurations. If you have the application implementation consultant role, will get access from the FSM, functional setup manager. This is also new concept in the Fusion application. Maybe in the next class we are going to talk about the more in detail in FSM. So, but when you assign the application implementation consultant role to the your user, you can able to do all configuration. Nothing but that. You can able to create the project. Under the project, you can able to perform the all configuration, AP, AR, FA, CM. What are the license you have that? So you want to perform the HR configuration, you want to perform the financial configuration, you want to perform the SCM configuration. Like you can able to get all configuration access, you can able to get it. Okay, that's what we call as the application implementation consultant role purpose. Okay, so this is a single role we require from the as a consultant user, and very generic role. Already we talked about the abstract role. Very generic role, that is we call as the abstract role. So the abstract role, it will come by the employee role. For the generic default features, I want to run the program, and of default features purpose, you need to be assigned the employee role. That's it. These are two roles is required from the basically from the consultant user. Okay, application implementation consultant role and employee role. For suppose if you want to create that, for suppose I'm creating the one user, the name called as the RTA user. So when I'm logging with RTA user, I want to create one more user. Nothing more than ABS, you want to perform as a sysadmin access. If you have the sysadmin access, you can create the more users. In Fusion also, you require the security console access. Without security console access, you cannot able to create the any user. So when you log in the admin user having the access, then he can able to create that. So but you want to create yourself. You create the one user, the user is required the security console access. So application implementation consultant role base will do with all configuration. Employer role base, it's a generic features will come. If you want to create the user, we require the one more role, that is we call as the IT security manager role. IT security manager role. IT security manager role. So basically, if you require these three roles, IT security manager role is optional. So optional is nothing but that you require the sysadmin access. In ABS sysadmin access, you require. So in Fusion, you require the security console access. If you require the security console access, if you want to provide the security console access to the any user, then you can assign the IT security manager role. If you are not assigning the IT security manager role, you cannot able to clear the user, you cannot able to change the password. If you want to assign the role yourself, nothing but that I require the one more role. You want to be assign the role yourself. It's not possible. You need to be send the request to the admin person, admin user, then admin user, he will be assigned the role for you. Otherwise, if you have the security console access, you can able to assign yourself. Okay, that is a thing from that. So commonly application implementation consultant role, employer role, IT security manager role. Application consultant role base, you'll get the FSM access, simply up to know like setups access. Otherwise configuration access, you can able to get it. You can able to do all configurations. And employer role, it's a generic access. Default features will come by the your employer role. And IT security manager role purpose, you will get from the security console. Okay, so what we can do that we'll log in with application, just using up the security console, we'll create our user and will be assign these three roles to our user. Okay, so before going to be this particular thing, just I want to share with something. So what we are using that this particular demo URLs, what we are using the demo URLs, Oracle is giving the seeded consultant user for you that. Once you log in, you can create yourself. Otherwise, Oracle is giving the consultant user for you that. Nothing but the same user. What user we are going to be creating, the same users Oracle is giving by default users. So the same users, nothing but as a financial guy, we have the seeded username is called as a FinAMPL. If you are the financial guy, you can log in with FinAMPL. If you are the SCM guy, you can log in with SCM-IMPL. If you are HCM guy, you can log in with HCM-IMPL. If you are in that, for suppose if you are in the PPM guy, project portfolio manager, you can log in with PPM-IMPL. So nothing but that these seeded users are available this particular demo version. Okay, and all seeded users password will be same. All seeded users password will be same. If I log in with, if I know the FinAMPL, I can able to log in with SCM-IMPL also. If I know the SCM mempool, I can able to log in with HCM mempool. Nothing but the password will be same from the this all users in the demo versions, not real versions, not in the our company environment like production environment or test environment, but in the demo versions, what Oracle is giving the demo versions, all password will be same. And you have the seeded employees also. You have the seeded employees list. The seeded employees also, all password will be same. Seeded employees, nothing but that Oracle is giving the seeded employees list. Nothing about the approval process or what you want. So you want to do some transaction. Oracle is giving the seeded employees like Kelvin Roth or like Oracle is giving the some seeded employee. So the username is a different, password will be same. Nothing but that if you know the admin password, you can log in with any consultant user, you can log in with any employee. Okay. So this password will be changed every week. This password will be changed every week. This is the Oracle policy for that. What are the demo versions are available in the market? Even though if you are get any demo version from your company, the same policy it will be applicable. This password will be changed every week. You create your user. The user also password will be changed. Nothing but that in the security console, what other users are available, all users password will be reset. Maybe some clouds are Saturday night, some clouds are Sunday morning or something. But every week, the all password will be reset. This is a Oracle policy for that. Okay. So, and who is the admin person? Who is the administrator from your organization? So that administrator will receive this password. Immediately to receive. It will not take the time and all. Once reset, immediately the patch will be applied. It will reset the all passwords, and the password will be hit automatically to the your administrator user. So here, what I'm giving the users for you that I'll receive that particular password every week. So every week I'm passed to that password to the user. Maybe this late night it will happen. Maybe in the when I wake up in the morning time, I'll pass this user to the everyone. That's it. Okay. So that's what. So I want to share that every week the password will be changed. I'll be share the password for you that. So you can log in with any of the FINA MPL or HCM MPL. You can log in and you can reset your password, your user password. I'll show that how to reset kind of thing. We are going to learn that. Just I'm giving the information for that. Every week password will change. You can reset your password in the Sunday. Okay, that's fine. Then we'll go to the application. So this is a application signing. So you will get the URL for you that the same like of URL you can able to see that. So we'll send this URL and password. So you can copy the URL and just you can paste it into Google. And you can able to see that this type of welcome page, the complete integrated cloud page. You can able to see that. Just you can click on the ERP and SCM cloud login. Click on the ERP and SCM cloud login, and automatically it will come the login page. Here you need to provide the username and password. You are the FINA MPL, like financial you want to go for that, you can log in with FIN_IMPL and you can use the password. Where you have the internet, you can able to log in this particular access. FINA MPL, just you can log in that. This is a home page. You can able to see that. This is a welcome page. This is a home page. Look like from the when you log in with Fusion application. Okay. So then here right hand side you can able to see the navigator button. In ABS every time we are going to be responsibility window. So click on the responsibility. We are going to do that. In the same way here every time we'll go for the navigator. So then click on the navigator. And you can find out the security console. You can find out the security console. Just right click on the more. If you have the more roles, then maybe you need to go for the next page. Okay, click on the more. Here you can able to find out the security console option. Here you can find out the security console option. Okay, you can click on the security console. If you want to see the security console, I'm logging with FinIMPL. This user having the IT security manager role. This user having the IT security manager role. If you don't have the IT security manager, this user, I cannot able to see the security console. It's a user having the security console access, IT security manager role. That's the reason I can able to see the security console here. Okay. Then you can click on the security console. Then you can able to see that here, that option here. First tab, we have the roles. We are in the security console tab. And second thing is the users. The second highlight thing is the user. You can click on the users. Click on the users. Here, if you want to see the any user, the user first three letters, you should be know that. If you want to see the any existing user, if you want to create the new user, add user account. If you want to search the existing user, enter 3 or more characters. You should be know the 3 characters. If you want to search the user, for suppose I have the any user, so I want to search the SCM-MPL. Just you can give SCM. It will show that what are the users for the SCM. So you can see that SCM instructor, SCM student, SCM, like you can able to see the all users information. If you want to change the any user password, yes, you can able to do that. Just you can click on, you can reset the password. You can reset your password yourself. If you want to change the any user password, you can able to do that. Okay, that's it. But don't do the reset the other user passwords. You can do the reset password your user only. Okay, then if you want to be searched from the any user, just you can come to search the user and you can chance to reset the password, lock the account and delete the account. You can able to do that. And if you want to see that, if you want to assign the any role to the existing user, just you can click on the your username SCM00 instructor, then click on the edit. So these are the roles this user having, that employee role or something, some of the roles he having. If you want to delete the any role, you want to revoke the any role, then click on the delete. So automatically this user, this role is going to be removed. If you want to assign the any role, then click on the add role. You can able to assign the any role. Okay. If you have the security console access, you can able to create the user and you can able to reset the password. You can assign the job role and you can able to revoke the role. This is all system related activities. You can able to do that. Okay. If you want to create the new user, then click on the add user account. Add user account. And you can give that here. You can see that star mark information is a mandatory. Single star means mandatory. Double star means anyone you need to provide. For suppose double star means we have the 3 columns is there. So anyone in the 3, anyone information is a mandatory. You should be provided. Single star means you should be provided. Just I'll give the RTA. The username you can provide. That is also I'm giving the RTA, and password you can provide. And confirm password you can provide. Okay. Then click on the add role. Which role you want to assign to this particular user? Then click on the add role. So what role we required? We required to assign application, implementation, consultant role. We need to be assigned. Just you can give the 3 letters. It will showing that regarding that related roles. It will showing automatically. We required application, implementation, consultant role. Application, implementation, consultant role. You can select it. And here you can select the starting with ORA. You can able to see the application implementation consultant, a lot of things. You can able to see the copies. If anybody's create the custom thing also you can able to see that. But as for the seeded role in R12 onwards, you need to select with application implementation consultant. The code should be start with ORA. Okay. Then you can select, then you can click on the add role membership. The role application implementation consultant role was added to the your user. And need to be assigned the one more role, that role we call as a employer role for the generic default features purpose. Employee select with starting with ORA, and I need to be assigned one more role, that is we call as a IT security manager role for sysadmin purpose in EBS technology. IT security manager role. You can select it, then click on the add role membership. Then click on the OK. Then click on the done. So I create the one user. I'm assigning the 3 roles: application implementation consultant role, employer role, and IT security manager role. Then you can click on the save and close it. Once you click on the save and close, you can log out and you can log in with your user. Okay, then you can log out this user. And you can confirm to log in again. And you can give your username, what we create the RTA, and you can give the password. Then click on the enter. Then you can able to log in with your user, what we create the user. Okay, and if you go for the navigator, so some of the default thing is coming by the your employer. I can able to highlight that. The security console, here you can see that security console access will come by the your IT security manager. If you are not assigned the IT security manager, I cannot able to see here. If you are not assigning the employer role, you cannot able to see these 2 things. Schedule process and the report analytics you cannot able to find out if you are not assigning the employer role. If you assign the employer role, then only you can able to see that. If you require the setup and maintenance access, we require to assign the application implementation consultant role. If you are not assigning the application implementation consultant role, you are not able to get the access from the setup and maintenance. Without setup and maintenance, you cannot able to touch any setup. If you want to do the configuration, we require the setup and maintenance access. So if you have the setup and maintenance access, you can able to touch the any setup, any configuration. If you want to create the currency, if you want to create the log entity, if you want to create the ledger, if you want to assign some account in the ledger, so nothing but that any configuration part, it will come by the single access. That is we call as setup and maintenance. If you require the setup and maintenance access, we need to assign the application implementation consultant role. Okay, remaining all features you can able to see the default features. Remaining all kind of thing what we are able to see here, these all kind of thing default features you can able to see that. But the role base you can able to get the access. These are the things you can able to get the role base: IT security manager, security console, and your application implementation consultant purpose. You are getting the access from the setup and maintenance. Okay, in the next class we discuss with very clearly for the setup and maintenance. That is what we call as a FSM, functional setup manager. So in the next class starting, we'll go for the theoretically from that FSM concept. Then we'll start with one-by-one configurations. Okay. Any questions anyone having? You can go ahead.
So basically, the roles have been replaced by the responsibilities if I compare to EBS and
yes,
in this fusion, right?
Yes. The security, we have a lot of things is there. Just I am giving the overview kind of thing today, and high level of structure. I'm explaining the job role, duty role, and that abstract role. That high level of classification I'm giving that. But when you are going the module base, then we can give that the next level of explanation. Just I'm giving the high level of classification explanation. I'm trying to giving the today class.
Okay.
Any other questions anyone having?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
I have seen like it is mentioned only delete, but like what we have in the ABS, if we want to remove the responsibility, we do the generally ended the responsibility, right, for the audit purpose. So do we have the end date here, or we have to always delete?
So here we have the only option like delete only. There is no end date policy.
No. I mean, in my current project, like we have a lot of audit issues, and because of the end date, because they always say, okay, when it was given, when it was end dated. So I
No,
wonder.
here you can see that here the job role you're talking about the responsibility. The responsibility is different here. So here we are assigning the job role is a different job role. Just we are assigning that you're not giving the data access to the particular job role. Based on the job role, you cannot able to do any activity. But in EBS, based on the responsibility, you can able to do the activity. That is the reason you are not able to. You want to stop the some time from that particular responsibility, you can able to give the end date. But here, based on the job role, nothing we can able to do that. Again, we have the some more step that is we call as the data access step. Based on the data access base, that the user can able to do that. If you want to do if you want to be sometime you want to be you don't want to provide, then you can remove the data access. Then when you want to give that again, you can assign the data access.
Okay, maybe when we do the practical, maybe I will get more
Yes,
idea.
yes. Like already we discussed that here it will come by the data based on the job role, nothing will happen. So you should be give the data access. So in BU data access, ledger data access, inventory data access, asset book access. You can remove the data access, the user cannot able to perform the anything. Job role, just it will give you the screen access. Based on the screen access, you cannot able to do that. Based on the menu access in EBS, you cannot able to do anything. So again, you require the access is required. Same way in Fusion also. So if you want to remove something, you can remove the data access. No need to remove the job role.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question anyone have? Okay, if we don't have any questions, we'll wrap up the section, and next class will be Tuesday morning. We have that Tuesday morning, same time in the 7 o'clock. Okay.